When it comes to R3 extraction, so now R3 is a very big source system. Right? So in the case of R3, you have data related to a number of sub-applications like what? That sales. In R3 you have data related to sales, purchase, production, maintenance, HR, finance, controlling, quality control, like this. So in R3 you have a number of data related to, these are all what? Various sub-applications. Okay. So now when I am extracting data from R3, what is it? Let us say I want to extract data of sales. We want to extract the data of what? So now, what is your data source now? It is SD. Then, do you extract entire data from sales? Do you extract entire data from sales? No, right? So, in sales, how is your sales process start? First is enquiry, right? So first customers come and inquire about your product. Based on the inquiries, what you will do? You will give them a, so you want this product of this much of quantity, I can give you for this much of rate. So based on the quotations, customers will place you what? Based on the quotations, customer will place you the orders. So what is the orders is like, on this particular date, I want this product of this much of quantity. See, first, how the request comes to the business now? In the form of a sales order. So now, based on the orders only, the request will go to which department? Production department. Right, so like, how is that? See how? Now suppose, imagine your delivery date is April 15th. You want to deliver the product on April 15th. Fine. So, when you want to deliver some product, now let us say for producing this product, imagine it takes 15 days. Now will you start your production on April 15th? So you have to make your production plan such a way that your product is ready when the delivery date comes. That means the production plan is done based on what? Based on your sales order. So that is what is the interaction between sales department and production department. Suppose now 15 days means, so I need to start my production, let us say at least April 1st plus some 2 or 3 days of lead time. So that when the delivery date comes, my product should be available. So now, see, that is what is interaction between sales department and production department. Now once production plan is done, where request goes now? From production department to purchase department. So first, after the production plan, what they will do? Production department will calculate something called as bill of materials. Bill of materials. 1 second. So the production department will calculate something called as bill of materials. So what is bill of materials is? How much of raw materials required to produce the product. Suppose I need to produce 1 unit of A. Now in order to produce, let us say 1 unit of A, I require 3 units of B, raw material B, 4 units of raw material C, and 5 units of D. Like that, suppose if you want 10 units of A means, right, all multiplied by, so like that, so they will calculate this bill of materials and then request will go to your purchase department. So what request will go to the purchase department? How much of raw materials are required on which particular date. Based upon that, what purchase department will do? Purchase department will start something called RFQ, request for quote. That means they contact different vendors. This quotation is different. This quotation is what? From customer to enterprise. Request for quote is from enterprise to vendor. So they contact different vendors. So they will give some quotation. So based upon that, the purchase department choose for whom they have to place the order, and what they will do, they will place the purchase order. They will place your, so that is request interaction between production department and purchase department. Sales order is different again, purchase order is different again. Okay, so once purchase order is raised, what the vendor will do? Vendor will send you the raw material. So that is what you call goods receipt. What is goods receipt is? Once the material, raw material enters in your industry, so you issue a goods receipt for the, right? So once goods receipt is done, so where request goes? To the finance department. That is like invoice. So now finance people will release the payment for the vendor. Understand? So that is all business functional. Right? So like that. So now after quotation, what is that now in sales? You have data related to orders. Okay? So once orders is done, once I just know what I discussed is all back end. That is what is called back scheduling. Okay? So now once the production is done, once the delivery date comes, what you will do? You will deliver your product. So once delivery is done, finally, what is that now? Billing. That is invoice. That is, you just receive the amount from your customers. Understand? So like that. So in sales, now I have data related to what? Enquiries, quotations, orders, deliveries and billing. So now these are called, each sub-application will have what? Events. Each sub-application will have. So just now I said you for purchase. What is that now? First is request for quote. Then you have goods receipt. Then you have billing invoice. So like that. So every sub-application will have different events. Now suppose I don't want to extract data from what? I don't want to extract entire, only what? Orders data. Now what is your data source now? It is sales orders. What is your data source now? That is sales orders. Clear? So order is one transaction. Order is one. Will it store in one single table of R3? R3 is what? Normalized. So in the case of R3, data is not stored in one single table. The transaction has been splitted and updated into multiple tables. We discussed normalization, right, to avoid redundancy, right? So each event will have again something called different levels of data. Like suppose under order, now I have something like header data, item data and what? Schedule line. Header, item and schedule line. So header data will go and store in one table, item data will go and store in another table, schedule line data will store in another table. Okay, suppose these are all R3 is what? Yesterday I said ready-made tables. So let us say, imagine your header data is storing in some table called as VBAK. Suppose your sales order header data is storing in a table called as. Now suppose again under order I don't want to extract entire data. Let us say I want to extract only I want to extract only header data. Now what is your data source now? Sales order header. It is storing in which table? Suppose this VBAK table has some 100 fields. Imagine this VBAK table has some 100 fields. So now your data source should be same as, that is your data source should consist of what? 100 fields. So now when you are extracting data from R3, remember what is the first point to be remembered? Your source system is different and data source is different. Now source system is R3 here. Source system is what? R3. And what is the data source there? It should be the same as your. Understand? So when you are starting with the R3 extraction, what is that? So first you have to define your data source in your, where? You have to define the data source in the R3 system. When it is R3 extraction, what has to be done? First the data source has to be defined in your R3 system, and from there what you will do? You replicate it to your BI system. So flat file extraction, you have directly created your data source in the BI itself, because that's a file, that's a flat system. I cannot create any structure in the file, so that's why directly we are creating in the BI system. But when you are extracting data from R3, what is that now? First you have to define your data source in your source system, that is R3. From there you have to replicate it back to your BI system. So a copy of this data source will be found in the. Understand the main difference between flat file extraction and R3 extraction? Yes. Any doubts in this particular part? Hello? Is everyone clear? How about other people? Reena. Reena, is it clear? Right. So that's what. So now when you start extracting the data from R3, what is that now? See? Data source is equal to, so when you start extracting the data from R3, you call your data source as what? See? Data source is equal to extract structure plus plus what? Transfer structure of the source system so extract structure plus transfer structure of source system plus transfer structure of your BI system. So when you start extracting the data from R3 now, what is your data source now? It is extract structure plus transfer structure of your source system plus transfer structure of your BI system. So now you know this part. Transfer structure of BI was nothing but your. So now when you are extracting data from a flat file, what was your data source now? This was your data source. Which was that? The transfer structure of BI. That is what we are calling it as PSA, right? That was called as your data source. Only that particular part was called as your data source. But when it comes to R3 extraction, now these three structures together is called as your data source. These three structures together called as your data source. What are the three nodes? So the first two belongs to your source system. This belongs to your BI system. Understand the logic now? So when you are starting extracting the data from R3, now what is the data source now? See, extract structure plus transfer structure of your source system plus stands for structure of BI system. Clear now? Right? Now, see now what is, we will see one by one. What is? We will start with what? What is the extract structure of source system? So now what is extract structure? See, grouping of logically related fields. Grouping of what? Logically related fields. See the terminology what I am using? Fields. That means I am speaking about my system, R3 system. Grouping of logically related fields in which format? Grouping of logically related fields in which format data from the source system. A grouping of logically related fields in which format data has to be extracted from what? Source system. How exactly you want to extract the data from your? So any R3 extraction that you start, it starts with the defining of a structure called as what? It starts with defining a structure called as what? Extract structure. So now, how is it? See, suppose the line below is your R3 system and the line above is your BI system. So now, imagine my data is stored in R3. Suppose I want to extract the data from which table now? Sales order header I said. So let us say that is what is that? VBAK table, okay? Suppose, imagine this VBAK table consists of what? Let us say some 100 fields. I have 100 fields in this particular ready-made table. Now, what we said, when you are starting extracting the data from R3, first you need to define your data source in your source system. Now what I will do, just now how I have created a data source in my BI system, let us say I log on to our R3 system and we start creating one data source. Okay? Now while creating a data source, earlier what I used to do, I was specifying the file name. Now here let us say I am specifying, what is that now? The table name. So when I am starting creating the data source in R3 side, first what I will do, I will specify extract the data from which table now? VBAK table. So once you create your data source, what happens now? What is that called? Your extract structure will be formed. So how many fields in this extract structure now? Same as your which table? Excuse me. Right here, same as your VBAK table. Okay. So whenever you first create a data source in your R3 side, what happens now? So grouping of logically related fields. In which format? In which format now? Format of your VBAK table. Data has to be extracted from your source system. Now, how this data comes now? First data from the source system will be coming to your data source. Come to what? To your extract structure. So here now what is that extract structure now? Grouping of logically related fields in which format data has to be extracted from the source system. So next is what? Okay, transfer structure of source system. So now same thing. See, grouping of logically related fields in which format data has to be transferred to BI system. Now what we said, ETL, extract, transfer and load. So extraction takes place through your extract structure, transferring the data takes place through your started creating a data source in your RP system. When I have created my data source, your extract structure has been formed. It has how many fields now? But let us say when I am sending my data to my BI system, I may not require to send entire data. Let us say I want to send only 90 fields to my BI system. But what was happening? I was creating a data source. I was giving the table name while creating a data source. Now same structure has been taken as your extract structure, because I am saying get the structure from what? But while sending the data to my BI side, what I said, now I don't want to send entire data. I want to send only 90 fields. That 90 fields is nothing but your transfer structure of BI. So now, what is that cell? In extract structure, you will get an option called something called as hide field. In your extract structure, you get an option called as something called as hide field. So extract structure minus hide fields is equal to what? Transfer structure of source system. So now what is that? See, the extract structure minus hide fields is equal to is nothing but what? Your transfer structure of your source system. Understand the logic now? What is your transfer structure of source system? Right? So now what I'll do, so once your extract structure is ready, I'll select for the 10 fields which I don't want, which is that now I'll select the hide. So after selecting this hide for those 10 fields, what I'll do, we start replicating this particular data source into your BI system. So what I'll do, I will replicate my data source. So we will replicate the data source to what? BI system. So once I replicate the data source to my BI system, what happens? Your which one? Transfer structure of BI. That is nothing but your PSA. How many fields in this now? 90 fields. So transfer structure of BI will be formed. So how many fields it has now? That is nothing but like your 90 fields. Clear? So that's nothing but your PSA will be formed. Of this, what you have to do? You have to activate your transfer structure of your activate your transfer structure of BI. So once you activate your transfer structure of BI, your transfer structure of source system will be formed. See the formation? First, transfer structure of BI is formed. Once after activation of that, your transfer structure of source system will be generated. Now, see now, how is that now? See how data comes? Data from your VBAK table, first it will come to your extract structure, then to the transfer structure of source system, then to your what? Transfer structure of your BI, that is nothing but your TSA. Now, what is that now? Together, all these three is nothing but your, together these three is nothing but your, what? Data source. So all these three, so when you start extracting the data from R3 now, all these structures together is called as your data source. Clear now? So what is the difference now between your flat file and other than flat file is clear? So when you speak about a flat file extraction, what is that now? Your source system is different. In flat file extraction, source system itself was your data source. That's why you are creating the data source in your DI system itself. But when it is other than flat file, that's the first what you have to do. You have to create your data source in your R3 system, and then you replicate this particular data source into your DI system. That is the only major difference. Now, once your data source is ready, what you can do? Either you can start creating your target, or you start using the ready-made objects in BI. That's nothing but your BI content installation. So you can install a ready-made cube, or you can create your own cube or DSO based upon the requirement. So make your target ready. So once target is ready, what you can do? Create a same thing. What is that now? Transformation. Once data source is ready, next all part is same. So next, of this what you have to do? You have to trigger one info package. So when you trigger info package, now data from these structures will come to your data from the VBAK table through the extract structure, then through the transfer. Then after this what you have to do? Trigger a BTP. Clear now? So now once you do this, that's nothing but your target is loaded with your data. So only what is the major difference? One is you generally don't go and create your targets. You start using the ready-made objects. How to use the ready-made objects? That is what we discussed in the yesterday's class. Then one more part is the data source part. So data source will be first defined in your R3 system. From there it will be replicated back to your DI system. So you know what is the major difference between your flat file and what? R3 extraction. Okay, see now. So look at the steps in your R3 extraction now. So what are the steps that has to be followed whenever you want to configure for your R3 extraction, right? So steps in your R3 extraction. So look at the first step now. So any R3 extraction that we do, what I said, it starts with defining of a structure called as so you have to define your, so where you have to do step 1? In BI or in R3? So in your R3 system. So step 1 has to be performed in your, so once you define your data source, what happens now? your, yes, extract structure is formed. So once I define a data source, what is going to happen now? Your extract structure is formed. That is step 2, step 1. Now step 2 is replicate the data source to what? BI. Where you have to do step 2? Step 2, I have to replicate it into BI. That means step 2 has to be performed in your R3 or BI. Replication takes place in your BI system. So only remember that step 1 has to be done in R3. Rest all the other steps has to be performed in your BI system itself. So now replicate the data source to BI. So once you replicate your data source to BI, what happens now? Transfer structure of BI. That is nothing but your PSA is formed. Then step 3, what has to be done? Activate the transfer structure of. So this also has to be done in BI only, right? So once I activate the transfer structure of BI, what happens? Transfer structure of source system will be generated. Okay? So then after this, what is that step 4 now? You have to install the BI content target, or you can create your own target. Then next is you have to create what? Transformations. Next is you have to create your transformations. Then after this, trigger your info package. Then finally, you have to trigger your DTP. Clear now? So these are the steps you have to follow whenever you want to extract the data from your R3 extraction. Right, so any doubts in the process, what we have discussed is the process of your R3 extraction. This is what I have discussed right now is R3 extraction process. Any doubts in this particular part? Yes? Next what we will start, so we will start up with types of R3 extraction. Types of R3 extraction. So when you say types of R3 extraction, so your types of R3 extractions are categorized based on how you define your data source. It's not based on the process. Process is same. Define the data source, replicate it, activate it. But what is the difference now? The difference is in only in your step number. It's in your step number. What is step 1? As I said, define the data source. No? Only the difference is in your step 1. Step 1 is done. Once you define the data source, the next all process is one and the same. But when I say now the types of R3 extraction, so they are categorized based on what? How we define the data source. Okay, the types of R3 extractions are categorized based on how we define the data source. Here's the logic, right? So, different types are there. The first type of R3 extraction we call it as generic extraction. What is it now? Generic extraction. Right, so in the case of generic extraction, we create the data source on our own. What is it now? So in the case of generic extraction, what is it now? We are going to data source on our, right? So now just like how you have seen your flat file extraction, I logged on to BI system, there I was creating my data source on my own. Same way, I log on to my R3 system, there I will start creating my data source on my own. So just now, whatever the example that I have given, while creating the data source, I said I will be giving the name of a table. Okay, so like that. So when you start now extracting the data, whenever you want to start, suppose, imagine I am logged on to my R3 system. Okay, suppose what is that now? Maintain. What is that now? See, I am going to create my. What will be the name of your data source? Whatever I give, that will be my name of my data source. That is what is custom defined. That is, the data source is defined by the user defined, right? So now, what is the name of my data source? Suppose I am giving ZDS underscore. What is the data source name there? Who is given that name? The user has given that name. That is what is your custom defined. Like so. So when I start create, what is that now? It is asking to give the name of your additional logic. So here I will specify my addition. So that is what I am saying, creating the data source. Anyhow, when we go with the practical part, you will understand that. Here, so in the case of generic extraction, what is that now? We create the data source on our own. Done? It's just like how you created your data source in your BI system from a flat file. Same way, we create the data source in your R3 system. Okay, now, so under generic, there are different types are there. The first one being called as, what is the first one is called as? Under generic, the first one is called as table. So the first one is table. So just now what I have discussed is the generic extraction with a table. So now what is it here? Whenever we want to extract the data from a what? Single table, we use what? Generic extraction with table. So R3 comes with almost 4.5 lakh plus ready-made tables, I said. So it may be any table, whether it may be a ready-made table or it may be a custom defined table. So what you will do while creating a data source, earlier you used to specify the file name, here I will just specify my table name. Same fields as your table that you have, your extract structure will be formed. So now whenever we want to extract data from what? From a single table. It may be a VBAK, as I said, or sales order item table or schedule line table, anything. Okay? Right. Next. Next is what? Now, when I discussed you with the R3 database design concept, what I said, R3 is normalized, but when I'm extracting data to my BI, we are trying to convert it into denormalized. So what is the problem I said in R3? So if you start generating a report in R3, now data is stored in multiple tables. It has to combine the data and it has to develop a report. Preferably it takes longer time. That's why what I said, we extract the data from multiple tables and we'll put it into one cube we discussed. That is from normalized, I'm going to convert it into. Now suppose my sales order data is in R3 in how many tables now? Let us say this item table name is called. Tomorrow I'll show you all the ready-made tables. Don't worry about that. How data populates into these tables, from where data is coming into these tables, what are the fields that are there in those tables. I'll show you all those tables also, okay? So now this, let us say VBAK and VBAP is like item table. This is your header table. Now I want my data of sales order header and item to be extracted into one cube of BI, or let us say schedule line data also I want. Imagine, what is that now? This table name is VBEP. Okay, so schedule line table name is what? Now I want to extract order data is in 3 tables of R3. But when I am loading it into BI, I have a cube. Yesterday I have shown you something called orders cube, 0ST underscore C05. Yesterday I have shown you some ready-made cube called orders. From where you have to extract now? From, let us say, these 3 tables, VBAK, VBAP, and one thing what you can do, you can create 3 data sources in R3, then replicate 3 data sources and connect it to one cube. But if you do that, what happens? You have to trigger now 3 info packages, then 3 DHCPs maintenance is big problem. So now what I'll do, on these tables in R3 side, we'll create one view. As we said, view is an imaginary table. So now, suppose, what is it now? My data is in VBAK table as well as VBAP table. Now, what I will do in R3 side, on these 2 tables, we will create one, what? View. Then, while creating a data source, I will not give any table name. What I will say, extract the data from view. What happens? What will be formed? Extract structure is formed having a link from what? From the view. So, when you trigger your info package, what happens? Data from both the tables, what happens now? Through the view will be coming to the extract. So now, what is that now view? So when I am creating a data source, now what is that I am going to do? I am not going to specify any table name. I will be specifying what? The view name. So your extract section will be formed angling from your view. So now, what is that view concept here? So view what say? Whenever we want to extract the data from, two or more tables, We use generic extraction with what? View. Clear now? View is clear. So, but to create a view, what is the condition? Both the tables should have at least one common field, and that should be a part of your primary key. Now, what is that limitation now? If you want, you can combine your order tables. If you want, you can combine your, because this is splitted based on the transaction has been splitted. Both, all the tables will have one field as a common. But suppose, if you want to combine order table and delivery table, is it possible? Two different events I cannot combine there. Within a single event, how many tables you want, you can combine. But two separate events, because this table is, what is the primary key? Order number is the primary key. This table, delivery document number is the primary key. I cannot combine them using a, so using a view, we can combine the tables within a single event, not different events. Okay, so that is what is the problem like with view. Clear? What is view is clear. Then next, under generic, next one is called as functional module. So here comes again use of ABAP in your BI. Generic extraction is a with what? Functional module. So earlier also I discussed about functional module. So what exactly a functional module is? So any programming language we consider, you generally have something called as modularization techniques. So what is like a modularization technique is dividing the logic into multiple modules, and then you will integrate all those things. Suppose I want to write a program, imagine which is of 1000 lines. So let us say for that it takes some 10 hours. If I assign it to one person, what happens? It takes 10 hours. So instead, let us say I am dividing into two modules. Let us say 500 lines each, and I will assign it to two persons. And after that I will integrate that. So what happens? Right, so time, so that's it. So in ABAP also you have modulation techniques, something like you have some different modulation techniques are there, like subroutines, then you have something called functional module, like that. Okay, so what is this functional module is? It is one of a, functional module is a reusable code. What is that now? This is a reusable code, reusable logic. Suppose today I am writing some logic, today I am writing some code, I am implementing it on a, let us say, which table is that? VBAK table. Tomorrow I want to implement same logic on your VBAP table. Now do you write the code again and again? So we'll make it as a reusable one. So what I'll do, so we'll make this code as a reusable one. So when I'm writing some code, what I'll do, using the call function, I'll call this functional module. You just have to give the parameters. Understand now? So logic will be coming, just you have to give the parameters. So now suppose my requirement is like this. Imagine, let us say this is my, which table is that? So VBAK table is nothing but what? Sales order. Header table means, header table looks like this. Header table will always have one record. For your order, it always consists of what? Suppose your order number, then imagine name of person who has created the order, then date of creation, then let us say some time of creation, and your What is the key figure there? Value of your order. So let us say this is your, which table is that? Sales order header table. Hello. కొద్దిగా ఉంటుంది స్టార్టింగ్ డిఎస్ సారీ 9:30 లేదు మీరు కావాలంటే 10 o'clock రండి 10 o'clock లోపల డిఎస్ క్లాస్ అయిపోతుంది మీరు తర్వాత okay. So now give some, what is that now? See, this is what is your data. Suppose you have time of creation is that, and let us say what is the value of order now. So this is your header table. See, it always for your order 1, how many records are there? It's all order specific. But when it comes to your item table, that is VBAP table, how your table looks now, say, okay, same thing. The primary key of this table is used in another table, that is called as what? Foreign key. Then along with that, what is the primary key here? So now here in this table, these two together is part of the, in this table only, this is your primary key, okay? Then name of your item, then how much quantity, and let us say this is value of order with respect to what? Item. Suppose this is like your, which table is this now? These two will be connected like this. Suppose order number 1, with this you may order for multiple items. Okay, item name is something. Okay, some quantity. So now, suppose values are like this. So if you add these three, 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10. That's nothing but your, understand? So this is entire order value. These are splitted values of that. That is what is your normalized. So like this, sir, your data is stored in now, which tables now? One is VBAK and other one is VBAP. Suppose your requirement is like this. What is your requirement? Now you want to extract the data from, which tables? Both VBAK as well as. So generally what you can do, you can start creating a view on that. But while extracting, I have to apply a small condition there. Now suppose you do have something called as, which table name is what? VBUK. So this table consists of, okay, sales order, header. What is the table consist of? Header status. Status means whether it is delivered or not, whether order has been delivered or not, whether it has been billed or not. That information you can get it from which ready-made table? VBUK. This is all purely functional, but just understand the logic. So now suppose here, what is it now? Order number is your primary key now here. So So sales order number, then what is that now? Delivery status and billing. So in this status, you get different options like A. A means not yet processed. And C means completely processed. Now suppose order number is 1. What is the delivery status now? Imagine. What is the data in this table now? C, and delivery status C means it has been completely delivered. That means all item 10, 20, 30, all has been, all the 3 items has been delivered. Suppose, imagine here it is B means, what does that mean? Either 10 or 20, both have been delivered, 30 may not been delivered yet. And that is partial delivery. Suppose if you have A here, so your order has not have been, so like that. So by seeing this status table, you can understand whether it is delivered. Suppose if the billing status is C means the customer has paid entire 10,000. Suppose if it is B means he has made partial payment. He would have paid some 6,000. Another 4,000 he has to, like that. So like that, A means he has paid nothing, like that. So by looking at the status table, you can get whether it is delivered or not, or whether it is billed or not. So that one all will be stored in which table now? VB UK table. So like that. So now suppose I have some 100 orders. In the order table, how many orders I have? For all the 100 orders, you have status here. Suppose in this case I have 4 orders. So for 4 orders, imagine this is what is the data I have in your. Now suppose you want to extract the data from VBAK as well as VBAP. If you create a view, and if you extract the data, how many records it will extract now? All the 4 odd. Right? All the 4 records it will extract. But that is not my requirement. When I am extracting the data now, what is my requirement? System has to go and look in your VBAK table. I want to extract data from VBAK as well as VBAP, but while extracting, system has to go and check in UK. I am not extracting from VBUK. If you are extracting from VBUK also, what you can do? On these 3 tables, I will create a view, but while loading data into B, I will give a condition, delivery status is equal to C. Only that data will be loaded. But I am not extracting from VBUK. I want to extract data from VBAK as well as VBAP, but at the time of extracting the data from these 2 tables, now system has to go and look up in your VBUK table. There, if delivery status is equal to C, only that particular data it has to extract. That means how many records it has to extract now? Only data related to order number 1 and 2. How we are saying? Because only for those 2 delivery status is equal to C. Understand the logic? So while you are extracting the data, you are implementing some logic. That means you have to write some ABAP code. So that is nothing but your functional module. So now what is your functional module C? So whenever we want to extract the data, by writing some ABAP code, or you can say by implementing some logic. We use what? Functional module. So now what you have to do? You have to, so ABAP people will be creating something called as functional module. So this functional module name will be given to you while creating a data source. You don't specify any table name. We don't specify any view name. You just specify your what? Functional module name. So what happens while you start extracting the data now, your ABAP code will be executed. According to that, your data will be extracted. So that is through coding. That is what is your generic extraction and its different types. Okay, so now generic is called as a custom defined extractor. What is that now? Custom defined extractor. Because here you are creating your data source, right? So now, and what is a generic is a full type of extraction. Just start triggering your info package. When you trigger your info package, directly where you are pulling the data from? From the VBA table itself. That is a live table where your sales order data is getting updated. Business data is getting updated from in the VBA table. From the particular table itself, you are pulling your data. You are extracting your data. That means directly you are pulling the data from your live database table. So what happens there? You are putting the load on your live table. What happens? What is the problem now? Meanwhile, suppose some new business is happening. Will it affect your business or not? So that's why, so using generic generally degrades your processing performance. That's why we generally don't prefer to go with generic. So understand now? Clear now? That is what is called as a full type of extraction. Clear what is generic extraction is clear? So we move on to the second type of extraction now. The second type of extraction is called LIS extraction. So LIS is outdated in 3.5 itself. In BIW 3.5 itself, no one was using LIS. Okay, when it comes to 7, so no one uses LIS. It has some drawbacks. So LIS stands for Logistics Information Structure. LIS stands for what? Logistics Information Structure. And using LIS, we can extract what? Entire logistics related data. Using LIS, what we can do? We can extract. So logistics means related to movement of the material in the organization, where and all the material moves. All those things comes under logistics, like sales, production, inventory, quality, purchase. All these things comes under what? Logistics. Okay, so suppose what is this here? HR will not come under logistics. Finance will not come under logistics. All these things, MMSD, production, PP, plant maintenance, service, quality, project systems, all these things which are comes under logistics, all those things you can extract using what? LIS. Now suppose, what is your requirement? Just now I said, generic within the event. If you want, you can start extracting. Now suppose, my data is in like this. Imagine, my data is storing in some different tables. Okay, let us say this is what is your VBAK and VBAP. These are sales order, header, and this is sales order item. And I do have some delivery tables also. Okay, let us say this is VBRK and VBRP. These are which tables? Delivery header and delivery item. This is delivery header table. This is. Now what is my requirement? This is normalized. From normalized I want to convert into denormalized. So now I want to extract 10 fields from each table. Suppose we want to extract 10 fields from each table. Okay, now what you do in LIS, I am just giving you a rough picture here. Anyhow, LIS is not required for you. What is important is next third type of one. So what I will do, line to the left is R3, line to the right is BI. So now, in case of LIS, first we will create one more extra table called as, what is the table I am going to create in LIS is information structure table. So in LIS, we will create now one more extra table called as what? Information structure. So now, what are the fields I am taking in this table now? What are the fields that I want to extract? 10 fields from each table which I want to extract. So those fields will take it into my information structure table. So after creating the information structure table, what we'll do, we are going to generate the data source based on your information structure table. So what happens? One extract structure is formed having a link from what? Information structure table. So when you trigger your info package, where is data coming from? From the information structure table. But is there any data in your information structure table? No, right? Where is your data updating? In your live tables. So what you have to do before starting your extraction, first you have to push your data from your database tables to your information structure table. For that, we call this something called as, you have to perform something called as data migration steps. Right? So you perform something under this something called as something called statistical setup. You have to do something called as statistical setup. So this statistical setup with reference, the entire order data which is there will come and store it into what? Information structure table. Then same way I'll do it for deliveries also. So I'll do the statistical setup twice now. Once for orders, once for deliveries. So what happens? Order data also comes to your information structure table. Delivery data also comes into your. So clear now. So what happens now? Data is in one location. From there you can easily start extracting the data. So now what you do in LIS? In case of LIS, what we are doing? I am not creating we are generating the data source based on what? Information structure table. Okay, in case of LIS, what I am going to do is I am going to generate my data source based on. But what is the problem here is, if you can observe that this statistical setup, as I said, with respect to event, entire order data is coming and storing into a. But I want, let us say, I want to extract only header data or header and item. So like that. Now if you using LIS, if you want, you can extract entire event data. That is entire order data. If you want, you can extract. But if you want level related, it is not possible. That is one drawback. Because unnecessarily you are extracting. But my requirement, I want some particular to some levels. That is not possible with LIS. So what is the major drawback was, so using LIS you can extract event related data, but not what? Level related. Clear the logic now? That's why it has been outdated. So you don't use LIS in your 3.5 system itself. So when it comes to 7, no one uses LIS. And so LIS is now, it is what now? Custom generated extractor. It's not custom defined. It is generated extractor. And what is that other part is, LIS is a push type of extraction. Okay, LIS is what? Because what you are doing, you are pushing your data from database tables to what? Information structure table, right? So from the live tables I am pushing. So now I am not extracting directly from the live tables here. Understand the logic now? So like that. So LIS is now a push type of extraction and it is outdated. Okay, we don't use any. So but very, very, very important is the third type of extraction called as LO extraction, which stands for logistics extraction. LO stands for what? So you don't know entire BI, also not a problem. You should know about LO extraction. All the organizations are using LO extraction only. Okay, any interview you go, the first question will be based on your LO extraction. So what does that say? In the case of LO extraction, what is that? So data source is what? Ready-madely given. In the case of LO extraction, what is that now? Your data source is ready-madely. So you need not create any data source. You need not generate any data source. So it's already inbuiltly given by. So now, what is that now? When I say data source is ready-madely given, that's nothing but what? Data source is a combination of three things. Out of this, which is ready-madely given there? Extract structure is clear. As I said, data source is a combination of three things, right? Extract structure, transfer structure of your source system, transfer structure of your BI. So transfer structure of BI is found only once I replicate my extract. So when I say data source is ready-madely given, that's nothing but your. So the link to the ready-made extract structure is given from something called as what? Setup tables. The link to the ready-made extract structure is given from. So these are also ready-madely given. Setup tables are also. So same like this only. So this is for LO. So now what is that? So you have something here called as, they are already ready-madely. But what is the advantage here in the setup tables is you have some partitions in this. Setup tables have some. So let us say something like header part, item part, and what? Schedule line part. So same thing. When you do a statistical setup, it is with respect to event only. But what happens when entire order data is coming, but header data will sit in this part, item data will sit in this part, and so now one ready-made data source is given for this particular partition, another ready-made data source is given for this, another ready-made data source is given for this. Based upon your requirement, you can choose which ready-made data sources you want. Understand now? So you can extract now even level related data also. Understand now? So what is that now? So LO is now is a business content extractor. So that is given by ready-madely given by SAP itself. And what is that now? LO is also a push type of extraction. LO is also what? It's a push type of extraction. Clear now? So very important is LO extraction. And next last fourth type of extraction, what is that called as? COPA extraction. Okay, COPA stands for controlling and what? Profitability analysis. So using this, we can extract what is that now? Finance related data. Using COPA, what you can do is you can extract what? Finance. Now, unlike other departments, finance department is having an interaction with all the departments. So sales people has interaction with finance, purchase people has interaction with finance, HR people, maintenance, all the things. So where major integration is in finance team. That means data from various departments will come and integrate with the. So now finance people will be using something called as operating concern. Finance people will be using something called as operating. So you can imagine this operating concern same as your cube what we are using in our BI system. Right? So BI is cube we are using, same thing you can imagine that is your operating. So now all the finance data, sales related finance data, purchase related finance data, or production related finance data, everything where it can come and store now into what? So it's called as a topmost legal entity. So if the top level people in R3 they want to access the data related to finance, where do they access it from? From the operating. So this operating concern is just like nothing but like some 4 tables. Just like your cube has something like fact table and dimension table, same way this operating concern when the finance people create this, let's not remember in the database it generates 4 tables. All the finance data will come and store it into what? Operating concern. So what you are going to do in COPA extraction is we are going to generate the data source. We are going to generate the data source based on what? Operating concern. Now what happens? A link to the extract structure is formed somewhere from the. So now in COPA extraction what we are going to do? We generate the data source based on what? Based on operating concern. Okay, in the case of COP extraction, we generate the data source based on what? Operating concern. Generated extractors, and COPA is also a, what is that now? It's a pull type of extraction. Clear now? What is the types of, what is the process of your R3 extraction and its types? So for you, what is important is we are going to see a generic. We'll be seeing mainly focusing on LO and then COPA. LIS is not required anyhow. Yes, that is what is nothing but LO extraction. LO cockpit is the application name. Yes, any doubts in this? Venkat? See, pull type means directly you are extracting the data from the live table itself. See? Generic, if you look up this, directly where you are extracting the data? From the database table itself. But push type, you are doing something called statistical setup. You are pushing the data from the database tables to, from there you are extracting. So first you are pushing the data to some other place, then from there I am extracting. That is what is push type. Operating concern is also directly extracting from where? From where it is updated. That is a pull type. Yes? Reena?
I have a doubt here, like when we trigger the PS, why it's taking from the instance like BBAK, BBAP, so why are it creating the extraction?
No, because data has to be extracted. No? From where it has to be extracted is nothing but your extract structure. See, I have a number of tables. From which table I need to extract?
You are selecting them like what we need to select.
Yes.
We need.
Uh.
And if you are saying that you have selected the high streams and you got
Yes, yes,
the
yes, yes, exactly.
the replicated structure is again replicated into this R3 system.
Yes,
I mean like the same structure is again transfer is created in R3 also.
yes, yes.
Why is it going again to BBAP?
No, when you trigger info pack, no, first formation, structures formation is done. When I trigger my info package, the process will start, right?
Yes.
So when I trigger my info package, where it is switching from? According to extract structure is having a link to your VBAK table. So from the VBAK table it extracts the data, then data will come to extract structure, then it comes to your transfer structure, then it will put it into your QSR.
Okay, but then the process inside is going on this.
Yes, yes, yes.
BBAK, but the process is like it's all going on.
Yes, exactly. So when you
Because BBAK we can find 100.
yes,
Then transfer is
9, yes, exactly. That is fields, not records. Yeah.
So we can find all this in our system.
Yes, yes. All those things you can see it in your RFA system.
Once the transfer is created in the BA, then it's being the same copy is created in RTO.
Exactly. So once transfer structure of BA is formed, your transfer structure of source system will be generated. Is it clear? Reena?
Yes.
So this is what you are looking for? Huh?
Yes.
So this is what is like purely. Tomorrow I'll show you some ready-made tables, how data gets updates into these particular tables, through what transactions it comes to these tables. That data we start extracting to my BA system. Okay then? Standard extractors is nothing but your LO, business content extractor. Standard means that is ready-madely given by your SAP. That is what, no? Standard tables. So the ready-made data sources are connected to the standard tables only, right? Nothing like that. There is no limit. There is no limit. But provided the condition is what? All the tables you want to combine should have a common field as a primary key. Okay? Right then.
One more question.
Yeah, tell me.
So when I extract the data only from one particular module only we can do it, right?
Which one?
You're saying about only the sales data, right?
Okay.
So sales order and again you have come to header data, item data, this level.
Yes, so now normally what you do, now I have a sales cube and I have a purchase cube. So if you want, what I can do on these two cubes, you will create one multi-provider.
Okay.
It all goes like that. Okay, so sales cubes, I cannot directly put sales and purchase data into one particular cube. Sales cube is different, purchase data is different. But you have different cubes. Now when you want a report combined, suppose on those, on this we'll start creating a multi-provider.
Here we are creating the primary key.
Yes, exactly.
But here we are going to do that.
We are BI side, huh?
No. From RP side we are going to take
No, that is not possible, huh?
some purchase. It's not possible.
That is what I'm saying. It's all different. Purchase is different. So now I'll extract data from sales data sources, and I'll put it into sales cubes of BI. Then we extract purchase data from and put it into purchase cubes of BI. If suppose they both have a common object, on this what I can do? We will create one multi-provider in BI side. On this multi-provider, we start generating the report. Okay? Right.
In the business there will be a link between all the departments.
Yes, definitely there will be there.
So there will not be the link is like we cannot create directly.
No, not like. Fine. So, fine then.